Okay, this is the problem that was Wednesday's homework, and we didn't have time to go over in class, so I'm going to go over it now. So basically, this was the information that you were given, and the only thing I didn't write on here is that at time t equals 0, the tank is empty. Okay. So for part A, how many gallons of sewage entered the treatment tank from 0 to 4? So it's the stuff that's going in, and that's this right here, the sewage going in. We're going to use E of t. So you can either write E of t, or you can write out the entire function. They accept either one. So that's pretty straightforward, and it's going from 0 to 4. So this is definitely a calculator question, and you're being asked to round it to the nearest gallon. So you get 3,981 gallons. Just in case you were wondering, you do not have to worry about this, the amount of sewage being removed at 645 gallons an hour, because the question is just asking about the sewage entering. They're not saying how much was in there, because then if they want to know how much was in there, you'd have to consider what went in and what came out. They're just asking what went in. So the point values for this are, if you wrote this, you got 1 point, and then if you wrote this, you got 1 point. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next screen. Okay, so for part B, also talking about the interval from 0 to 4, they're saying when is the amount in the sewage, when is the amount of sewage the greatest? So that would be an absolute max. And this is where you have to consider what was going in and what was coming out, because it's how much was in there. What time was the most in there? Okay, so remember, an absolute max or an absolute min can happen at the endpoints, and here's your endpoints, or it could happen at a critical point. Okay, so let's start with 0. So let's just write our E of t again over here. Okay, so when t equals 0, so E of 0, well actually okay, I'm just writing that, we're not going to use that function yet. Okay, E of 0, so how much was in the tank at time t equals 0? 0, that's what they told you. So it's highly unlikely that's going to be the answer, because obviously stuff went in, and we're looking for the biggest one. Okay, or it could have happened at 4. Okay, so if it's happening at E of 4, so that means that you can't just consider what's happening at exactly the 4th hour. You have to say what happened over the course of 4 hours. So you have to do the integral going from 0 to 4 of E of t. But remember, 645 gallons every hour is coming out. So you have to subtract 645 gallons for every hour that went out. So how many hours went out? Well, it's 4, because you're going from 0 to 4 hours. Okay, so that's how you would find E of 4. So when you do that, the integral would give you this. Right, we already did that from part A. Minus, and then 645 times 4 is 2580. And so when you subtract them, you're going to get 1401. So therefore, E of 4, so I'm just going to make some room here, equals 1401. So right now, that's the winner for the absolute max so far. But don't forget, you still also have to check at critical points, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to have to do next. Okay, so how do you find a critical point? We have to take the derivative, and we need to set it equal to 0. Okay, so what is the derivative? So you could use whatever letter you want. I'm going to use E. So what is E prime? Well, actually, E prime is this. Okay, why is this E prime? Because in the story it says it's the rate at which the sewage is entering it. So a rate would already be the derivative. So E of t is the derivative already. But don't forget, you also need to subtract the 645. Whoops, not 650, 645. Okay, so we're going to take that and we're going to set that equal to 0. So it's going to be E of t minus 645 equals 0. And of course, I mean, if you're just subtracting 645, that's when t equals 1, and then, and so on. Okay, so you're going to put this into your calculator, because E of t is this big mess, there's no way you could solve it. Then you're going to go to second calc and look for where it says 0, and you're going to get two solutions. And remember, is this only between 0 and 4? Yeah, so you're going to set your window, your x's from 0 to 4. So you can get your two solutions, and you're going to get t equals this, right, all from the calculator, and t equals this. Okay, that means that we need to check those as well. So we have to do E of 2.309. I'm going to have to do E of 3.559. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Okay, so you might be wondering, why can't you just take the 2.309 and plug it in, to this function? You can't do that because that's going to give you the amount of sewage at exactly that time. But you have to remember, this was an ongoing process. Okay?
I didn't catch that.
That was my stupid Alexa in the background. Okay, so to do the 2.309, we're going to have to go from 0 to 2.309. We're going to do the same thing we did before, so it's going to be the E of t minus 645 times whatever hour that is, which is 2.309. Okay, you're going to use your calculator, and you're going to get this number. Okay, so that means that E of 2.309 is 1637.18. So right now it looks like that's the winner, but we still have one more to try. Now we're going to do the integral going from 0 to 3.559 of E of t minus 645 times the 3.559. Okay, and when you do that on your calculator, you are going to get this number. Okay, so E of 3.559 is 1228.52. Okay, so you are looking for the absolute max, and so you look at all of these numbers, and you can see that right here, 1637.18 is the biggest number. So let's go back and read the question so that we can answer it properly. Okay, we'll put our answer in this little gold box. Okay, so at what time is the amount of sewage in the treatment tank the greatest? So you're going to say at t equals 2.309, the amount of sewage was the greatest. Okay, the next question they're saying, to the nearest gallon, so you're going to have to round, what is the maximum amount of sewage in the tank? So what was it? So you're going to say when there was, so we need to the nearest gallon, 1637 gallons. Okay, and what are the point values for this one? Okay, if you consider, okay, we erased it, but if you consider, move this, anything during your entire thing of E of t minus 645, so if you have that somewhere, that's 1 point. If 2.309 is considered as a candidate, as a possibility, that's 1 point. If you got 1637, that was 1 point. And if you wrote a concluding statement, that was worth 1 point. Okay, that was part B. Okay, let's go to part C. I'm going to change the color. Okay, so here's part C. Whoops. Okay, again, going from 0 to 4. We need to treat the raw sewage that enters the tank. That is disgusting. Okay, and so the cost is going to be 0.15 minus 0.02 T, okay, in dollars per gallon. So how much will it cost to treat all the sewage that enters the tank from 0 to 4? Okay, so it's just everything that's going to happen from 0 to 4 of E of T. You're going to multiply that by the cost, dt, and you're going to use your calculator, and you're going to get this number. They asked you to round this to the nearest dollar, so it would be $474. C, I think, was so much easier than B, but yet it's still worth a lot of points. So if you set up the correct integral, that was 1 point. If you actually just did it from 0 to 4, that was a point. So that's a giveaway, because even if the rest was wrong, you just had to have 0 and 4 in there, and then your final answer was worth 1 point. Okay, so that finishes that problem.